Brought to you by Patrick Eads and his staff at Deary Brothers Ford on Mormon Trek. Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Mike C. Keys for Cars. GT Carr and his crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling. Supple's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Midtown Family Restaurants. Harty and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City. Diamond Dreams Sports Academy. Senior Benefits. Premier Automotive in North Liberty. The Oxyoke Inn of the Amanas. Streets Maintenance. Dr. Lance Forbes, Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids. And Big Dog Tech Solutions. Here's Tom Suter and Pat Harty from HawkFanatic.com.
Okay.
We're talking Final Four, aren't we? Right now.
Well, maybe.
Talking about if they go to Indy, are you going? And I asked Suter, and he's thinking about it. Now, there is 2 games standing in the way.
2 games against teams that have beaten us, possibly.
Yeah, but like I said, I feel very good about their chances against Nebraska on a neutral court. Then, of course, the teams lurking out there, Illinois and Houston, the ones that those are the tough ones, especially Illinois. They're playing real good right now, and their size is hard to replace. And, yeah, we all thought Florida was probably going to win, but I'm not shocked that because we've said on here that Florida was the worst of the 4 top seeds.
Yes.
They'd already had 7 losses. Their shooting is suspect. And remember, last year, Florida, yes, with a lot of those players, won it, but they also had the best guard in the tournament. Walter Clayton was lights out during the NCAA tournament. Point guards like that sometimes take things over. The way this Darius Acuff from Arkansas is doing right now, he's incredible. And that's what Florida didn't have yesterday. I mean, Bennett didn't have a good shooting day, obviously, but, man, did he run the offense. And on that play that mattered, they executed it perfectly, the screen by Cooper. But Bennett got that ball going at pretty close to full speed, so that got everything at the right speed. Alvaro knew right when to break to the corner of the baseline. Bennett threw him a perfect bounce pass where he got the ball. He got everything in shooting rhythm, boom, basket. Then they made a nice stand at the end, won the game.
Yep.
And then I was hoping that McCollum and that little worm from Florida would fight at midcourt, but it didn't happen. You could beat that Florida coach up, Captain.
Hello.
Hello. I liked Dolphin's statement. He said, there's a hearse parked outside in Florida that just died.
Dolph.
Wow.
Dolph bringing the cutting edge snark.
Wow.
Yeah. And then how about the ones doing the gator chomps, like Cale Combs? He was going with the fans doing. There's a lot.
I didn't see that.
Cooper Koch was doing. Hey, they're kids. They're having fun. I wanted the coaches to fight, though, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Their coach was mad because he thought that his players should not have gotten a technical and that the Iowa players should have been thrown out for throwing a punch. Well, he was trying to punch the ball. He wasn't punching the guy.
Yeah, correct.
Yep. We all watched it, too.
He thought that he was really mad about that.
Well, that's too bad.
They reviewed it, and they saw that he was trying to punch the ball away after scrambling.
I could see that.
In which you could say the Florida player was maybe even a little more aggressive than Alvaro while they were wrestling for the ball.
How about all our players that were pushed on the ground?
I don't know. They won. Let's not just rant about the refs.
I don't care about
everything's
the refs.
fine. They won the game, Carn.
And they got that call right.
And they got the call right. Yep. So everything's good.
Well, I'm not talking about the refs. I'm talking about their coach.
Okay.
Yeah,
he lost too.
Well, I can see that.
They lost, and unfortunately,
and we won and advanced.
And the coaches did not get in. But that was funny though. Ben was going out. You could tell Ben was pissed. And he said he said during a break in the action that those guys, they're being overly sensitive. It was 2 guys going for the ball, which it was. I thought the refs handled it fine.
But at
first it did look like Alvaro punched him.
It
looked like, and he is an emotional guy. I'm like, oh God, really? But then they showed he was trying to punch the ball loose, which was actually kind of clever.
Well, it was a good thing they didn't throw him out because he's the one that made the winning score.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Then Cooper would have been the guy.
Yeah, so it was destiny, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just like the Final Four. Tom and I are already talking about going.
Yeah.
A week in Indy.
And how about the parking today?
How about it?
I've got a spot reserved.
Yeah, I'm going to be going from the softball field. But, hey, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, it's a unique situation. Just deal with it. And you guys have been announcing the Iowa did reach out to me a couple times yesterday, Captain, asking us to really to highlight the parking situation.
Yeah,
reading the instructions and everything. Okay, we can do it again. Do it a couple times.
Well, they said they weren't going to give out any of those parking passes that you just had to get there.
Well, I've been told just my media pass will get me into the softball parking lot, and then you walk up the hill. Is it ideal? No, but it's not,
Well, at least you got a spot.
Yeah, I mean, if it's filled when I get there, I'll deal with that when I get there,
Just borrow somebody's Hummer and.
Okie doke. Well, let's hope we get the girls in.
I think
I
think you're going to be happy, Karn.
Yeah. Goodbye.
All right. No, I do think the women are going to win. They're at home. I think they're better. That other team's playing their third game in 5 days.
Yeah.
So I just think things in this will be the first time since '88 that they've had both. Then no, these are good times. The men are 23-12. I mean, and again, I think if they play like they did last night, Sturts isn't going to go 0 for 9. I just think. That game, early on in that game, Florida's offense was horrible. They just were missing so many shots. And I'm like, wow, they can beat this team. They're more physical inside, and they proved to be that.
Yeah.
And then Tavian was great. And the 14 points.
Tavian was fantastic.
His 14 points in the first half were huge. Because that set the tone, and they were able to control tempo.
He was a warrior.
Yeah, he was really good.
Man, was he
good. Well, I was thinking about this because, you've got the gloom and doom fans whose glasses are always have buddy reach out. Hey, North Carolina and Kentucky are both going to be looking for head coaches here in the next week or so. They're like, you'd be a fool if you're both schools not to come to Iowa for either one of the coaches at Iowa or Iowa State. And I'm like, really? We're not even through a year yet, and I got to deal with this? I mean, he was sort of kidding, but he wasn't, too. I mean,
I saw that on the message boards already.
I mean, McCollum, my Twitter feed right now is filled with nothing but McCollum is God, and the stuff in Iran is the end of the world. Those are the two things just going up and down my thread. Posts about the Iran war and that Ben McCollum is the greatest coach ever.
I read just one statement and said, "Hey, Drake just beat Florida."
But it was a lot more than Drake. I mean, the guy who made the winning shot was a big fan, Robert Morris.
Spain, yeah.
And Robert Morris. But no, McCollum stock, it's amazing. You got everybody parachuting in now, national. And then there are a lot of small town or small school Twitter presence I've noticed on my feed. Hey, you're all finding out what we've known for years about. And I look, it's like an SID at like some college in Missouri. That's all over my
And
Twitter
how
feed.
good was Cooper Koch last night? I mean,
good
God.
Yeah, he was really good. And he's added some physicality. And what a game. He and his dad both scored 12 points in the game to get Iowa to the Sweet 16. Yeah, 27 years apart.
That was one of the greatest things, him and
his dad embracing.
Yes, that was fantastic.
They had some nice photos.
I was on the phone, and I almost dialed the last number to Tommy to say, are we updating the newscast? And then CBS radio came on, and the whole 3 minutes and throughout the night was Iowa. And I thought, well, we can't beat this.
No.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm wondering what you guys think about McCollum going to Kansas or North Carolina.
Well, Pat just mentioned that.
I mentioned Kentucky, too. Is Self done at Kansas? I've been hearing more about Kentucky and North Carolina.
Well, Self, in his interview after the game, it really seemed very much up in the air as far as his health goes.
Okay.
He's got something, I don't know.
So an operation? That could always be a game changer. So
yeah.
Those are arguably the three most prominent, other than Duke, maybe in the country. I mean, UCLA used to throw in there, but it's not the same anymore, and the job's not the same anymore. I mean, if those three are open, I mean, it would be natural to think that McCollum's going to get some benching.
They might.
And what if
TJ?
TJ too, same thing. That was an impressive win without their best player.
He's
a good coach. Doesn't he look though like
he's ridiculous?
Doesn't he look like Kevin James from King of Queens? What, you don't like the shirt?
No.
So if he was wearing a different shirt, you'd be okay with it?
Not really. I don't like him.
He's petulant.
I don't like him.
Is that petulance, Captain? You're smiling. You like that hate over there. Cyclone.
I like that attitude.
You like that attitude? Yeah. You don't like the Iowa State coach either?
Not really.
Do you see the shirts he wears?
Yeah.
They're really tight around his biceps,
yeah.
and he always looks like he's flexing.
I know.
He reminds me of Kevin James in King of Queens. Every time I watch it, that's what I think of. but he's a good coach.
Yes, he is. No, he's a great
McCollum's
coach.
a good coach, and I would imagine they're going to be on these lists of all these. If these, I don't want to be gloom and doom, but we've already had someone call in. If these 3 jobs open up, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm trying to think of somebody who's just somebody right now that's just way more qualified than Ben McCollum or T.J. Altenberger to take one of those jobs. I mean, Rick Pitino's not going to do this at this stage. He's happy at St. John's there.
And he's doing a hell of a job.
And like I said, I hope Ben stays, and I think he will. I think the fact that it's only been a year, but what I'm saying is he's done enough this year with everything else. What just happened, and that's the power of this tournament. All they've done is won back-to-back games. But look, the narrative has shifted dramatically. Now he's wooden, and my God, we better hang on to him. You know, and somebody reached out to me like, God, what if Banks goes somewhere? I'm like, dude, let's let him lose first before you start. But that's the world we live in.
Well, Banks doesn't even have another year.
But if he does, and they're appealing, maybe. I think he's going to. I think a lot of those are going to win from what I've read. So I think he'll get another year. But I said to my buddy, I'm like, why? I mean, he's flourishing in this setup right now. Look what he just did. But that's the world we live in, because you don't think after watching him play, you don't think some of these blue bloods are going to come, hey, what do you think? 1.5 for that last year. That's the world we live in.
Well, let's see.
There's no denying it.
Okay, other Sweet 16 coaches that may be on looking to advance their careers.
That would be somebody you would say, man, just markedly better than Altenberger and
all right, who's Houston's coach?
Kelvin Sampson. He's not going anywhere.
No, he's not.
A great coach. If Iowa had Kelvin Sampson, I think we'd all be happy with that.
Who's Arizona's coach?
What's his name? He's the former assistant at Washington, Tommy Lloyd, I think. He's got a big name now, but only because he's been good at Arizona. They took a chance on him. Tommy Lloyd, I believe, is his name. You could argue that, but Tommy, why would you leave Arizona for any? I mean, Arizona is sort of the equivalent of those. Now, it would all come down now. If one of those blue bloods, North Carolina, said to Tommy, here's $4 million more a year, then yes, I get that. But Arizona is a team. I'm saying they could probably fight off the Wolves better than Iowa and Iowa State.
What about Michigan's coach?
Michigan,
he's awfully good.
He's one that, you could argue right now he's a step above just because he's done it a little bit. Although, man, TJ's been good. No, I mean, to me, Dusty May and Altenberger are kind of right on the same level. They've both done really good. Now, if you're Michigan and you're number one in the country and things are just clicking, is it a big step up to go to a blue blood from the 70s and 80s? I mean, I don't know. Is North Carolina that much better of a job than Michigan if you're getting everything you need at Michigan? I don't think so. I wouldn't think so either. And I guarantee you Jamie would probably say not either. I mean, Michigan, as long as you got all the NIL, which you know that they can do that at Michigan. And obviously it wasn't hard for him to get him to be number one. The arena's filled again. So, but, North Carolina, we're talking North Carolina. Again, North Carolina and Kentucky still haven't done anything, but those are the rumors that those coaches are in trouble. I'm reading it all. No, it's all over the place. Well, North Carolina is actually meeting to discuss Hubert Davis's future. Now, in fairness, he did win 24, 25 games, and they were without their best player. At the end, Caleb Wilson was hurt. So they may give him another year.
What have you done for me lately?
It is, but since he's a former player, they may give him another year, but then you're dealing with a lame duck coach and what have you. Obviously, it doesn't look like much of an extension's coming. But extensions don't really even seem to matter. Nobody seems to care about anything but what's next right now.
I know.
That's really kind of where we are.
And it's weird.
Well, it is weird, but it's not much. It's not as weird as it used to be. It's getting to be normal. I mean,
you're right.
I mean, they named off one of these kids in the tournament. He'd been to 5 schools, and it was just all over the country, just all different. And And I had no idea that Darius Acuff, who may be the best player in the country, I haven't really followed him that much. He's the freshman guard at Arkansas. I didn't realize he was from Detroit Cass Tech High School. He played there for 3 years, was a phenom, but then he went down to the IMG Academy in Florida for his senior year, and that's when Calipari recruited him. You could see why a kid would want to play for Calipari, especially a point guard with all the great point guards he's had. And he is really, really good. He's about 6'2". He can just score the ball, man. He is a bucket hunter. Very talented.
I haven't seen Arkansas play at all. So
I hadn't much either until the other day. But, no, this is fun. Iowa and Iowa State both then. How many Big Ten teams is it?
6.
6? I mean, think about that.
No, it's 6.
Almost
Purdue,
half of them. Yeah.
Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Michigan and Michigan State.
Right now, the Big Ten is so much better than the ACC
Yeah.
and SEC in basketball. I mean, it really is, and this is showing it. Now, Duke, and there, of course, Duke's a really, really good team. And again, I thought Florida was the most vulnerable of the top seeds because I just wasn't that impressed with Florida's backcourt. I mean, Boogie Flame's been a decent player in college for years, but he's not a good shooter, and they didn't have Walter Clayton. Walter Clayton took over that NCAA tournament last year. That team rode his shoulders to that title. He was incredible.
Two things that I thought had to happen for Iowa to have a real good chance to win last night. One is Bennett Sturtz had to have a great game, and he didn't.
He didn't.
And we had to shoot free throws well, and we didn't.
No, but you didn't take into account that Florida just did not. There were times where Florida barely would get a shot. Their offense was just so stagnant.
It was.
Iowa was trapping out front, and it just seemed like they weren't ready to get into their next action. And I give Ben credit. He had them scouted. They were trapping on the high sideline. They were using the sideline oftentimes as a defender. And it was interesting the way they just seemed to cause this Florida offense to just unravel almost. And then when it got to be 31-29, I'm like, all right, here they come. And then they got it. But Florida, though, they never really were able to open 8, 9, 10. That never happened. And Iowa stayed within striking distance, and then they just stuck with it. And Florida just didn't have enough offense.
And when it looked like Florida may just starting to accelerate to win the game,
Iowa made shots.
Iowa made their plays.
Yeah, Florida, they cut. It was 51. It was 51-39 Iowa. And you knew Florida was going to make a run.
Oh, of course.
And you knew they were going to make multiple runs, and they did, but Iowa withstood it. And in front of a bunch of Florida fans, it was very impressive. And I'm happy for all the kids. I'm happy for Alvaro. His mom was in the audience. And it was just a further confirmation that Ben McCollum is a really, really good coach, especially in this setup. And I'm telling you, in this kind of setup, if Iowa was playing Florida in a 7-game series, they'd probably lose.
Well, probably.
Probably lose 4-2, maybe 4. But these aren't 7-game series. These are one-and-doners, and they had it when they needed it, and that's the beauty of this thing. And I'm guessing Florida fans, we beat them in a 5-game. Yeah, you probably would.
So what?
But you didn't beat them when you had to, and good win now. And now this is the fun part. They get to experience this second week in the tournament, which they haven't done since '99. And a lot of it's fun that we don't even see. Their season's still going.
Yeah.
I mean, and we don't need to see everything. There's some of the stuff these guys do on their own, but they get to have the second week together, and it means a lot. And again, though, I mean, they play Nebraska, 6:30?
Yes.
And then what's you got the bracket in front of you?
Yeah.
And then after that, they would play the winner of, is it
Illinois, Houston.
Houston, and that's to go to the final. That would be to go to Final Four.
Yeah.
Think about that. You believe we're saying Final Four? Team that
ridiculous.
lost 77-70 at Maryland and then lost at Penn State?
Okay, now I saw something too. Last year, did Iowa and Nebraska, did the winner of that game have to win to make it to the Big Ten tournament? Is that true?
I can't. God, you're asking me. I have trouble remembering this
if that's the case, what an incredible difference.
Yeah.
No,
this has been a crazy year for both teams, but I just think Iowa matches up good against Nebraska. Obviously, they match up better against Nebraska than they do Illinois. I think we can say that. And Illinois is playing real well right now. They have a tendency to struggle sometimes under Underwood. Under Underwood during postseason, but this team seems pretty locked in, and the way Keaton Wagler has emerged, he gives them something that I'm not sure they figured they would have it. I think they knew he'd be good. That's why they recruited him. But, man, he's a one-and-doner. He'll be one of the top 10 players picked.
Yeah.
And they've just got a lot of weapons. But worry about that later. They can beat Nebraska. Here we are back with Price Sanford and Hoiberg. And maybe, what if that fan goes at Fred down in Houston? That fan's following Fred with his cell phone, Captain. What happens?
I have no idea.
What do you think, Suter? But I'm kidding, of course. But no, this isn't quite the story. I'm guessing if I'm Price Sanford, you probably wish you were playing somebody different than Iowa. Do you think I'm wrong?
I would think so.
Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's saying, bring it on. I mean, whatever it is, it's a great storyline, and they better guard him.
I think the main thing is Price Sanford is thinking, damn, we're still playing.
Oh, I'm sure that's the main
16.
thing. But when the fact that it's Iowa,
sure.
It's a little different.
Yep.
And it's probably a lot more different for Price because most of these guys on Iowa's roster, other than Cooper, they don't really have a relationship with And Ben didn't keep any of the Iowa assistant coaches, so it is pretty cut and dry. But no, it's a great storyline. A lot of different storylines. The Cooper J.R. Koch storyline is definitely cool, and that photo kind of illustrated the whole thing. Just different generations makes me feel old.
So how much more work does the Iowa staff then have to do as far as the game prep for Nebraska? They've done it twice.
Well, it's not a matter of. I mean, of course, you always update and see what they're doing in these recent games to see if there's any new wrinkles. But yeah, no, this isn't going to be any big surprises. This is going to be like
for either coach.
This is going to be like Iowa playing, Minnesota in football. You know what I mean? Just two coaches that have been there for all. It's going to come down to just execution, and luck's going to play part of it.
Sure. Well,
that ball when it leaves the hand. I mean, there's sometimes when it rolls around the rim, some roll in, some just little things like that.
Boy, Alvaro's shot was just perfect.
It was perfect. Yeah, no, it was perfect, and there was pressure. There was a ton of pressure with the score and what have you. Different than if the score were tied or what have you. But again, Bennett was incredible on that play, how he timed it perfectly to be going at such a good speed when he made the loop to play off the screen there on the baseline. He got the ball going at the right speed, knew just what he had to do. And I think the fact that he threw a perfect bounce pass, too, because Alvaro got it all. And if you're a shooter in basketball, it's all about rhythm, muscle, reflex memory, and just being able to get that ball comfortably, bend your knees, and shoot it all in one fluid motion, and that's what he did.
Hello.
Hey, Hunter.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Paul.
You got the sports show going on?
No.
No,
we're sorry.
Something didn't.
Oh, that wasn't clicking.
That wasn't good.
No, that was not good.
That was. I mean, it's just the Sweet 16. We don't need to go that far.
Well, I was thinking, thinking back on basketball moments, Iowa basketball moments, and bigger shots than Alvaro made last night. There aren't very many.
No, there's not.
Maybe Luke Reckers to win the Big Ten tournament.
I'm still kind of thinking back to that call.
Listen, I'm sick of him.
Oh, really? I wouldn't have guessed. Tom, are you aware of that? That he's tired of those calls?
Well, he calls up. It's a sports show. He's not even listening. He's not freaking listening. This is.
Why do I find that funny?
I don't know. I find it very sad. And
if this is him, then you're going to get nasty, aren't you? Then they'll get back. I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, Paul, you're not even freaking listening. Okay? So why are you calling?
How about them Hawkeyes?
How about them Hawkeyes?
How about that? Thanks for calling.
How about them Hawkeyes? That sums it up.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about shots.
Luke Recker's
shot to win. Kevin Gamble's shot in '87 against Oklahoma, top of the key.
Yep.
Obviously one of them. There's others. We just got to think.
There's not that.
There's not a ton. Well, because there's not a ton of NCAA. If it's all just going to be shots in the tournament, yes, there's not a ton because there hasn't been a lot of NCAA tournament success. Now, I don't remember back.
Steve Waite's layup.
Steve Waite's layup is
Georgetown.
Definitely.
Yep.
Now, Vince Brookins made a couple baseline jumpers in those games, too. But, no, Steve Waite, that's another shot that it's right up there with this.
Yep.
I mean, and but I don't remember back in the 50s with Bucky O'Connor's teams. I mean, I'm sure they made some big shots, but I just don't remember.
I'm sure they did.
And then trying to think, Waite's shot was by far the most famous shot during the run to the Final Four.
It's somewhere in my memory, and somebody can help me out here. I believe Sam Williams had a shot in the lane to tie us with Ohio State. And then we had to play each other, and Ohio State ended up winning.
I think I do remember reading that. Of course, I was 3 when that happened, so I was just starting to listen to Led Zeppelin at that time.
Hello.
No, they wouldn't even have been around. That was before Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Good morning, gentlemen. Brody Boyd hit that big shot in the Big Ten.
Who? Oh, yeah, Brody Boyd made a big. That's right. He made one along with Recker.
Recker did too.
Didn't Recker actually make 2 pretty big shots?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brody Boyd, that was another one. Yep. Forgot about that. And, of course, Bohannon. Bohannon never did it in the NCAAs, though, did he?
No,
He made some big shots.
Did a banked a 3 to beat Purdue in the Big Ten tournament.
Yes, he did do that, and he also made a huge shot at Wisconsin, but those were not
when
NCAA
he was a freshman.
But that was not the NCAA tournament. So, but no, there's not a lot to choose from. Not a lot to choose.
No.
But yeah, when that shot, right when he released it, I'm like, man, it looks comfortable. He is in rhythm. He doesn't shoot with a lot of arch. I mean, and it just went right in, nothing but net. And they still had to defend because it went in the net with 4.5. But they did. I thought they did a great job of letting that ball handler kind of take himself out of the play, and he was taking precious seconds away the further he drove down the court. Then they kind of trapped him on the baseline. Yeah. Boom, game over.
No, it was. It was great.
But no, if they get to the final four, I would like to try to figure out a way to get myself and Mike to go for hockey, because that's at least drivable. And that's a big if, but it's not a huge if. I mean, the fact that they're 2 steps away, and right now they play a team that I think they can not easily beat, but realistically beat. I mean,
we have beaten.
I mean, they are a win away against a team they've beaten from being in the Elite Eight. And we're saying that about Iowa men's basketball.
Unbelievable.
In Ben McCollum's first year. I mean, look at the smile on your face.
I just want to take calls from people who are listening.
So you're
that isn't too much to ask.
So I had to take the headphones off because I didn't think he. What did he say when you called him out for not listening?
He didn't say nothing. He just goes on. He's not listening to me. He's not listening to the show. And
he doesn't sound.
Listen, I don't hate the guy or anything. I don't want any harm to happen to him or anything like that. But Jesus, just.
Well, to our listeners who may think you're a hater, how many times have I said, "Do you hate that guy?" And you're like, "Well, I don't hate him. I just don't like him." That's what you say.
I don't.
You don't like hate's too strong for you.
I don't know that I even don't like him. I'm just oblivious to it. I don't care.
He's not adding anything to the show, is what you're saying.
He's not adding anything to my life.
All right, so did you think this morning we would be talking for the first half hour about the Iowa men's team and not even bringing up the women?
Well, we did bring them up when we were bitching about
parking.
Yeah, and we're bringing it up again. Parking, carpool, walk there. If I didn't have to carry a computer bag, I would walk. Yep. I mean, it probably back and forth to my house, probably 9 miles, probably 4.5 each way.
Would be
it would not be fun. It would not be fun. But I'm just not going to do it with a computer bag.
No,
it's going to be interesting enough walking up the hill from the softball field. But it's not that bad, and they do a nice media spread. Although the day wasn't it hot in there?
It was.
It was sticky, but I'm glad they had tacos. That's what they fed the media. The last thing I needed in that sweaty heat was to have a billy full of tacos, so I think I benefited. 88 is the high it got here. Did it set a high?
It set a high of 90.
Okay, well, the official temperature, I read it on record was 88, but it did not set a record for the.
Was it uncomfortable in there? It was warm. But I've been so much hotter in Kinnick Stadium. It was
nothing compared to that. It was more sticky, stuffy.
It was.
I mean, because you were away from the sun.
You're in a basement.
Yeah, but for a lot of those, as you walked up the steps, which I did, by the time you got up to the concourse was really warm.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, you're closer to the court, and my media seats were close. I had courtside seats, and I appreciate Iowa giving Mike and I both courtside seats. I chose not to be on the court side because I've never been a fan of that. For a lot of people, that's just the bad. Yep, I matter. I'm down here on the court side because I matter.
Those are the expensive seats.
I just never. But it's really cramped in there, and there's a bunch of empty seats up in press row, and I just sat up there by myself. And I prefer. I just like the view better from up there than court. That's always been me.
I can see that.
Hello.
Hey, I'm listening to you guys. I have 3 comments.
Is that the new disclaimer now?
Yes. I'm listening to you guys.
All right, what do you got?
Go ahead.
The first is you can always take a free bus from downtown Iowa City.
True.
There's several options to get to the women's game.
That is a good point for people listening.
There's like from Pentecrest, I think there are 6 free buses one way or another. Now, going back to the men.
Okay.
I have 2 comments there.
All right.
The first is after Florida missed one of the 2 free throws right before all the thing happened.
Yeah.
The announcers said Iowa only has to score 2 points. They don't have to score a 3. I turned to my wife and I said, we have to score a 3. I don't want it going into overtime.
I'm with you.
Amen.
I think, overtime would not have been good, I don't think. But
we
don't know.
The third thing is Fulgaris will never have to buy a drink at a bar in Iowa the rest of his life.
There you go.
Well, you're not wrong about that. And, boy, what a shot.
Yeah. No, he'll always be there.
Keep up the good work, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much.
People, hey, I listen. Does that mean I can call in?
Yeah, his name will be forever linked to Iowa basketball.
Just like Luke Recker and all the other ones. But, okay, I got to ask, not to belabor the Paul thing, but how do you know he doesn't? Has he told you that? How do we know he doesn't listen?
Okay, he said, is the sports show on?
Yeah, that's how he started out.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I don't know why I find that so.
No, I'm not psychic.
One of our most
He always calls up and says, "Is the sports show on?" He got screwed up.
Why is that?
With daylight savings time and called.
But today, that first call, he sounded a little different than he normally, doesn't he? That first call, Tom, you were.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Yes, he did.
We're going to move on. Peter, Paul, and Mary were done.
Okay.
I was not aware of that. I thought he was down in Florida listening. All right. What do you got, Tom?
Well, let's see. Big Ten women today, of course, Iowa.
Well, here's a tidbit for you. Kirk Ferentz had not coached in one game as the Iowa head coach the last time Iowa was in the Sweet 16.
Crazy.
What do you think of that, Captain?
That's pretty sad.
Isn't that? Well, and then McCollum does it in year 1.
I mean, seriously, it was such a big deal, again, that CBS, with all the war going on.
Oh, yeah, no, they tons of publicity.
They started their newscast last night.
Now, part of it, don't take this wrong, part of it was the fact that it was more because Florida lost and Iowa won.
Sure.
But, hey, no matter how publicity comes your way, you don't care. You're getting it. And I just thought the better team won last night. I just thought Iowa looked better. And I thought when
tougher.
I just thought when the coaches had to be, well, they didn't have to be separated. But
the headline when they started out.
I saw a lot of that too.
The anchor said,
CNN, Sarah Seidner.
Iowa finally makes it to the Sweet 16.
Well, Sarah Seidner was whining on CNN this morning because I think she went to Florida.
Yeah.
And but no, this is what happens when you win a game like this. We just haven't experienced it.
Bonnie was whining this morning.
Who?
Bonnie Reynolds.
She a Florida fan?
She's from Florida. Yeah. So
Ben's saying vision this, But no, just a big win for Ben and for the state, for everybody associated with Hawkeye basketball, long overdue, and it's a neat feeling. But again, like if they get to the Final Four, you could be without Suter and I both. It'll be you, Lang, Hunter, and Paul to do the Hawk Fanatic segment if they get to the Final Four.
5 Big Ten teams played today, of the women.
Okay.
Iowa versus Virginia, Ohio State versus Notre Dame, Vanderbilt versus Illinois, South Carolina versus USC, and UCLA versus Oklahoma State.
At least we're getting to the stage in the women's tournament where most of the games, I think, will be pretty competitive. I mean, I think Iowa's going to win today. I think they're going to win today like 68-62. Don't you think Virginia's going to try to slow the pace? From what I've watched of Virginia, I mean,
their point guard is really good.
She's good, but they don't play at much of a pace.
No, they don't.
At least the times I've watched them. I mean, that game against Georgia, it was kind of like watching that first half of the Iowa game when it was 23 to. I'm like, man, they have taken over the pace of this game. Florida is playing right into Iowa's hands. They really were.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the very beginning. Florida could not make any shots early. And it was just, from the very beginning, it looked like a very winnable game, and it turned out to be. It's crazy. And I think we're going to have Adam on. I reached out to Settles. I haven't heard back from him. The problem is you don't get a lot of notice. I'd like to try to get somebody from the 99 team on, of course, to look back. And of course, that'll be written about a lot this week in the days leading up. But I think we're going to have Adam on Wednesday, and that'll be good because by Wednesday we'll know if both teams are in the Sweet 16 and lots to talk about. And but yeah, today again the parking. Do you have the release? The release.
Jim, Do you want to come in?
Mind reading it again, just for people that are listening? And again, nothing from Hampshire, and carpooling is strongly encouraged, is what they said.
That's a good idea about the downtown buses.
That is a good idea. I forgot. That's something I could do. Now, those same buses, will they be running 4 hours after the game to take you back down to downtown?
Not 4 hours, but
2 hours?
Oh, yeah, they'll take you. Well, yeah, they're not going to just.
Because the game's over at 3, so you're saying the buses would run to what, 6, 7, 8?
I don't think that late.
Yeah, do they run?
I think CAN bus runs to like 10 or 11 at night.
CAN bus does, but not. I don't think the.
But a CAN bus isn't going to let someone like me on, are they?
Oh, sure.
Oh, they'll let some old geezer on there? I thought they were just.
You can park in the downtown Iowa City ramps and take. Take CAN bus routes to Carver Hawkeye Arena. They said Lot 11 will be available for public parking as space permits.
Where is Lot 11?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Parking at Hampshire will not be available. There are ADA parking options at Lot 46, part of Lot 75, and Lot 73 is a backup. The public parking options include the Finkbein commuter lot, the lot next to Finkbein, the Finkbein driving range, Lower Finkbein, the softball field, Hall of Fame, lots 45 and 71, and you could use the CAN bus. Hawk Lot Hospital route will be available for those, and the Hawkeye ramp, Ramp 3, will be available for parking public.
I will say, if you like walking,
but you got to pay an hourly wage.
You park at the Hall of Fame. It's a nice walk.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is. I just wish I wasn't carrying a computer bag.
It's
so yeah, there's places to park. You're just gonna have to walk a little bit.
Yeah. Says carpooling is heavily encouraged.
Heavily, I thought strongly. Heavily encouraged, yes. Yeah.
So how many empty seats do you think there will be? A couple thousand?
Yeah, probably. I mean, that will be interesting. Yeah, this is a challenge, and Iowa can only do so much.
Yep.
This is not their fault. And people know it's not their fault. This just happens. In Iowa, a lot of schools, this wouldn't be a factor because they're out in a different location. Iowa's got a lot of obstacles around, especially during business hours. So you make the best. But, yeah, there's places to park. You're just going to have to walk, in some cases, 3/4, maybe even close to a mile to get to it. But it is going to be a decent day. I'd rather do it on a day like this than 2 days ago.
For sure.
I couldn't believe how hot it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like July, and it was March. And then I come here today, and I'm freezing. I don't know why I'm still wearing shorts.
Yeah.
I am just for spite.
No, I just got used to it. Then I should have known. But isn't it going to be warm again in a couple of days, and then cold again?
Yeah. I mean, it goes up and down. It hits mid-70s Thursday, and then dumps to the upper 40s on Friday. Mid-50s Saturday.
Those are fine.
Low 60s.
I love mid-50s and 60s. Yeah. But we were part of that big, massive heat thrust thing that was here, right? Okay. Yeah. That was making it so warm for the places out west and what have you. But, yeah, it was just weird that and I will give credit, and I wrote about this yesterday, and of course it's not all Caitlin, and I get that. But this past week reminds me just how powerful she is with the Nielsen rating, with the WNBA contracts, collective bargaining, and just with that crowd. I mean, she has lifted this program and had tons of help doing it. And I mentioned that about without Megan Gustafson, you maybe don't have Caitlin Clark at Iowa. Lisa Bluter created the perfect environment for her to thrive. And you put all that together, they're still kind of feeding off her appeal and her popularity, but they're winning enough games to also keep doing it, because even Caitlin wouldn't be able to offset if Iowa wasn't very good. Let's say Jan had back-to-back losing record. Caitlin Clark's impact would be hardly anything.
It would be negated.
It would just be negated. Yep. But they're winning enough to combine with who she still is now, and it's just made this Iowa brand just out of this world. And to me, the points, the logo threes, everything, to me, the most incredible thing she's done is off the court, in the stands, TV, all that, social media. Oh, yeah, and you saw Iowa was number one in media subscribers and all followers and what have you. That, to me, is the greatness of her legacy, even more so than the points.
She's doing an ad. I don't even
the one with Barkley and Magic and,
she's
just natural. I mentioned that. She just makes it look easy, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they had to do a ton of takes, but, she's doing a commercial with Charles Barkley and Magic Johnson.
Yeah. That's very cool.
But, see, Iowa benefits from all that stuff as long as they keep winning.
Okay, so how cool, then, was it, to see Lucy
part of it.
And Kate Martin?
Lucy bridged the gap between Caitlin and moving on. She made it easier for Jan in her first year to avoid any time. Without Lucy, they may not have made the NCAA tournament last year.
Oh,
Lucy came
100%.
here, filled a key. She wasn't Caitlin, but she was really good. They made the tournament, 23 wins, and now they're continuing to roll. Now,
and even won a game last year.
And won a game in the tournament, yeah. They won, and I do believe if they lose today, a lot of what I'm saying, people are going to be like, yeah, there's a bunch of hot air. I don't agree with that, but a loss today would switch the narrative completely for some people.
It would.
For me, it wouldn't. It would be very disappointing because I still don't think this Virginia team's a 10 seed for a reason.
Well, no, you're right.
They're not that good. And if they're listening, no offense, I'm not. When I say they're not that good, I mean they're a very beatable team, especially at home. I just think this
100%.
looks like a very winnable game for Iowa. Now, maybe Virginia's a team on a mission, but I just, from what I've watched, they just seem pretty limited offensively. The point guard is good, dribbles a lot, and I'm guessing I assume it's going to be Fear back on her, don't you?
I would assume so.
So that would be a lot for Chit Chat to have to carry both loads on both ends of the court. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm
sure Kylie will have the cover.
And they may do some zone. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean, I'm sure they'll have a good game plan.
Hello.
Morning. Yeah, lot 11's on, like, behind the jail there, just to let you know.
Lot 11 is behind the jail? Okay.
So on the other side of the river?
Yes, on south.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well, that's...
Don't cross the river if you can't swim the tide.
Don't pay the ferryman.
What's that? That Krista Bird, Lady in Red. Every time the phone rings, I think it's him. I gotta move on, Captain. I'm living in fear. I'm living in fear right now.
What's the fear? I just hang up.
True. I mean, there's so much censorship here. This is the deep state. Hey, can we take a break? I got a
let's take
frog
a break
in my throat. I got to get a drink.
And we'll be back with more and take more phone calls, hopefully.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember...
For a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime, find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, Hertine and Stocker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site, so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Hertine and Stocker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Hertine and Stocker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HertineandStockerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
So, did you get your holiday lights down yet? What if your home could shine magically with just a tap? Introducing Illumilights from Big Dog Tech, the permanent smart LED lighting system that installs once and lights up your life year-round. No ladders, no hassle, just beautiful lighting that makes your home stand out day and night. Visit BigDogTech.net and schedule your free quote today. Illumilights, light up life.
Hi, I'm Jim Street, owner of Streets Maintenance. As a licensed, insured, and bonded master plumber, I specialize in all plumbing repairs, including but not limited to water heater and sump pumps to toilet and faucet repairs and replacements. As an Iowa City native, I know how frustrating it can be when any part of your plumbing system breaks down. That's why I only use trusted brands and quality materials. I offer same-day, next-day service coupled with a fair price. I also offer general services to mobile homes. For more information about my business, I'm online at streetsmaintenance.com and Facebook, or give me a call at 400-4483, 400-4483.
Streets Maintenance, honest plumbing at a fair price.
Hawkeye fans, you love watching the black and gold. You know Hawkeye black and gold. As a Hawkeye fan, there are no better colors than the Hawkeye black and gold. Hi, I'm Steve Anderson. When you're buying, selling, or refinancing your property, consider the green and white team, Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Give us a call at 351-8600. Hawkeye Title and Settlement, the team you love, the people you trust.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier for years, and it works. Deer divots and dings do damage, but Premier Auto will do right by you. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Do yourself a favor. When your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier. The deer don't like Premier, but you will. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Hit a deer? Call Premier.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy 20,000 square foot indoor facility holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
When you go to a family restaurant, you want 3 things. 1, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. 2, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And 3, you want to be treated like family. You get all 3 at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. Daily specials at each location, and no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurant at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at MidtownFamily.com. The family's waiting for you. GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit Supples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
Hi, this is Tiffany at Senior Benefits. Are you confused with Medicare questions, anything having to do with Medicare? I take care of all Medicare customers, people under 65. I also do life insurance, long-term care, cancer insurance. I'm here to help you navigate any questions that you may be having or frustrations and anxiety that you may have with Medicare or insurance in general. Give me, Tiffany Rao, a call at 319-631-4795.
When someone is kind enough to share their time with us, we better make it worth their while.
They don't want to do the, people call it the game, right?
Patrick Gades and Terry Adams of Deary Brothers Ford talk about what here for you means to them.
You don't have to spend a half a day in our dealership to get that good competitive price. We just want to try to deliver that to you up front.
And that makes me feel good, makes me proud.
Because that's what people want. They want a fair, honest deal.
As far as a statement here for you, we want to not just say it, but live it.
Find out what it means to you at Deary Ford in Iowa City.
The Oxyoke Inn is ready to serve you with the same fresh food, prepared to order and served with a passion that you've come to expect since 1940. Serving our famous Sunday brunch buffet with lunch, dinner, family-style banquets, and carry-out daily. Reservations are easy at oxyokeinn.com or call for big or small tables and private rooms. We can't wait to serve you soon at the Oxyoke Inn.
The Oxyoke Inn.
In the heart of Amana.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios, in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Meteorologist Rodney Price. Clouds will increase into the afternoon as temperatures climb into the lower 50s. An easterly wind developing. It'll stay on the light side. Clouds for tonight. They will thin, though, later on as lows drop into the mid-30s. We'll start off Tuesday with mostly sunny skies, but a few more clouds into the afternoon, with highs climbing up into the upper 50s. That's the forecast on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Right now, it's 37.
KCJJ weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply, kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
Yeah, I believe so.
We are back.
We are back. Where
did he go?
He is eating those Tootsie Roll fruit chewies.
Oh, okay.
And evidently that takes precedence.
The cherry ones are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big Tootsie Roll guy. I mean, but these are soft.
No, I don't like
and
Tootsie
if Lance,
Rolls.
you're listening, I'm not biting down on them. There's hopefully going to be no damage. Don't have to make any emergency trips up there.
Yeah.
But Tom and I were talking. We're back to the gloom and doom subject. You were talking about coaches that, I mean, Ralph Miller leaving Iowa. I mean, of course, I was 6, so I don't. When he left, were you shocked? Did it just come out of nowhere? You were what, in high school?
I was pretty shocked. Yeah.
But didn't it sort of have a lot to do with his? Oh, well, you tell me. Why did he leave Iowa for Oregon State? Was it weather?
No.
Was it Evie?
I'm unsure. I was shocked, and my dad was surprised. Somebody else is going to be able to remember. I can't.
Didn't he and Evie have some issues? Well,
yes.
Of course they did. Evie was the AD.
100% they did. And I think, yes, that absolutely
because that was not even maybe a lateral move at the time, was it?
At the time on Oregon State was nothing.
But then they went out there and they got really good.
They did.
He coached Gary Payton.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, I believe Ralph Miller came from Eugene, Oregon originally and went back there.
Oh, that's very possible.
That sticks in my mind very well.
Well, you mean Corvallis or Eugene? He went to Oregon State. That's Corvallis.
Either one or the other. I probably misspoke. Corvallis, I do not know for sure, but he did come from Oregon originally, I believe.
I believe you're right, yeah.
And Oregon does have different weather than we do.
Yes, great program this morning. Keep it up.
Hey, thanks, Bill.
But yeah, but when Lute left, I mean, you had heard the rumblings about the fishbowl and his wife wanted warmer weather, but I still just didn't think it would happen because he had gotten them to not the pinnacle, of course, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
They were soaring when he left.
Yeah.
And were you surprised by that one?
Yes, and bitter.
Well, I know you're still bitter, and you're bitter because you felt that he bailed on Iowa after making Iowa commit to an arena that you don't like anymore. And I know I'm with you on that.
Oh, Carver is what it is.
Did you hear? There was a really neat video from the Arizona State players. One of their media. They just did this 9-minute. I wish I could find it on Twitter. I should have retweeted it, but it was all the Arizona State players kind of going out on the court before playing in their tournament game, and just kind of looking at Carver and how cool the house that Caitlin built. They kept talking about, which is kind of funny. There's a lot that happened before, but I get what they're saying. And they're like, it's really cool. I love the logos on. They're like, yeah, the seating's a little dated, but other than that, that's the only thing they really said negative. Then of course they went and found the logo where she made the 3, and they were just in awe of that. But it was really cool listening to them talk about Carver and the good side of Carver. They love the upper concourse, but funny thing is, right during the middle of it, they're interviewing this girl, and she's like, I'm by no means some construction expert, but it would sure be a lot better if the plush seats, the great seats courtside, you didn't have to walk all the way up. I don't know why they didn't build a middle section. She just started going in detail about why. And it was so funny listening to her say that, because she's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a completely different arena if they had a middle mezzanine, but that would have also cost what? Back in the time, they just didn't have the money.
No, it was a deal breaker.
It was a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Because it would have been really expensive. But in the long run, they may have benefited from it. But if you don't have the money then. But it was just interesting listening to people with a different perspective. And but no, the crowd the other day, and I give Jan so much respect. I don't know if you read Mike's column in Hawk Fanatic. She went at the handshake line, said to the Fairleigh Dickinson head coach, this game on a neutral court, you may have won. He goes, we got to get these games on. That's the next step for women's college. Iowa may not have won that game on a neutral court the way that team was playing. That team was annoying.
They were annoying and had two of the best three-point shooters in the country.
Yes, and their volume shooters too. They miss.
And how are they a 15 seed if they have two of the best shooters in the country?
And well, because they're small and because they didn't play anybody.
Well, that's true.
I mean, that their schedule doesn't help them. But they didn't. I mean, they made 10 threes, but they missed a lot of threes too. But that's just what surprised me more than anything is how they were able to control the tempo of the game. Iowa just played right into their hands, and it was. I mean, I always thought Iowa was going to win, but when it was 35-33 going to the fourth quarter, I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
I know.
And the score, the 10 points, was not indicative. The game was much closer than the final score.
Much.
But that's a good test for Iowa, and what Fierbeck said is what you would expect. Oh, this is what we need. You need this in March. Now, I don't know if you needed it to be that close, because I could look around. Iowa fans were like, is this really happening? But they found a way to get it done, and that's all you need to do. Survive and advance, and that's what they did. And
that would have been one of the biggest losses in NCAA women's basketball history.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the biggest one, of course, is Harvard versus a injury-laden Stanford team. That was 1 versus 16. When did that happen?
I can't remember.
It was not that long ago.
But they had two, Stanford had two ACLs.
But that's the one. That's the standard right there. That's the 1 versus 16. It doesn't happen much on the men's side. It's only happened once in the women, and this is 2 versus 15. But they avoided that. They ended up winning, and people will look back, they won that game by 10. It'll even be a better win as the years go on than it actually was from a competitive standpoint. The game was way more competitive than the final score.
Yeah, the number 2 seed is, I think, 136-0 in the tournament history.
And see, that's part of the problem with the women's
NCAA
tournament. And neutral courts will help to correct it. I just thought that was really cool for Jan to acknowledge that after winning a game like that, basically saying, hey, we just, not saying we lucked out because we were at home, but in fairness to Iowa, they earned that home by winning 25-26.
And that coach has been wildly successful.
Yeah, no, they got a great system. They play really good defense. I mean, the way they play angles and the way they help on defense was impressive. And I'll tell you, if Iowa didn't have, they just didn't have, FDU did not have an answer for Stolke or Hayden. There's only so much coaching in position. If Ava Hayden, if she's 6-7 inches taller than the person guarding her, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
And same with Hannah. Hannah had 16 rebounds. Ava had 15 in the fourth quarter, 12 straight. I mean, it was just size dominance. Iowa finally figured out a way to get its size to win that game. That was the difference, 47-28 rebounding. Other than that other team won most of those other categories.
30 points off of 3-point shots, and we had 3.
Yeah, I mean, that was 27-point difference. Iowa was 1 of 13 in Jan, and a lot of those were open looks. They just missed them. A lot of them were open. Some of them I thought were a little rushed, but that's the danger of the 3-point shot.
Well, it is.
You're right. It can be your best friend. It can be your worst friend. Kind of like Paul.
Jesus.
All right, I'm done.
No, you're not.
I'm done.
He's going to come up 8 more times.
No, he's not.
10:30.
Look at the smile it brought to your face, though. That's a wounded smile, though. I'm sorry. But, all right, what do you got there, Tom?
Nothing. I'm just looking at so many Big Ten teams are still.
Well, we've been told, it's Big Ten is the premier conference, I think, in both men and women right now. I don't think it's even close. Now, Big 12 in men is pretty good. I mean, and for Iowa State to win that game, without arguably their best player.
Convincingly.
And convincingly, that was, I mean, no, Kentucky's not a typical Kentucky team, but it's still Kentucky, number 7 seed. That was a really impressive performance by Iowa State.
Was.
And that Taman Lipsey, is it me, or has he been around? Seems like he's been here
there for 10 years. God damn it.
But he's a good player, and his story's cool. If he was a Hawkeye, we'd love him. Grew up in Iowa.
Of course
He
we
grew
would.
up in Ames, and he's a perfect story for this type of thing. And my God, was he good in the second half. He didn't play that well in the first half, but second half they brought it, and they did that without Jefferson. And he's wearing a boot and not put any weight on that.
Well, he didn't. His leg was
I'd be
up on
surprised
that.
if he plays anytime soon. But, boy, just to get to the Sweet 16 under those circumstances is pretty impressive. Now they're both in. I still can't believe the men are in the Sweet 16.
So let's see.
I will take this, and I'll be back.
Who is it?
All right.
Oh.
So Iowa State plays Tennessee on Friday, March 27th.
Rick Barnes, one of the best and I think at times underrated coaches in college basketball. He's been doing it for a lot of years.
Didn't he coach at Texas also?
Did coach at Texas and coached at Providence and where else has he been? No, he's a hell of a coach. They will definitely have a good game plan. That could be a fun game. I wish Jefferson could play. I mean, sooner or later they're going to run into too much if he can't play.
Well, you would think so, but boy, they sure didn't miss a beat.
They were struggling early with Kentucky. I'm like, maybe they're not going to have enough. But man, that second half they made great adjustments. I'll tell you. I mean, I don't know enough about the Drake coach yet. What's his name? Eric Henderson. I know he's been successful in order to get to Drake, but between Ben Jacobson, Ben McCollum, and T.J. Otzelberger, Iowa's got 3 really good men's basketball coaches. I mean, Jacobson's been doing it up there for years, and to get them back in the tournament this year was sort of a reminder, hey, we get it done here too. But McCollum, I mean, to do this in year one, I mean, Alford couldn't do it. Licklider couldn't do it. Fran came close, but it just couldn't get over the hump. And that was a combined, 14 with Fran, 3 with Lackluster, 17, 24 years just in those 3. And then Ben does it in year one. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's great.
It's just crazy.
I thought that was insurance for because it came up insurance. But no.
But
was it roofing?
No, they wanted to sell us insurance.
Man,
we already got some.
I got into it with a roof. We had these 2 big Teslas show up in our neighborhood. They swoop in, these big, massive, and it's some roofing company. They're going door to door, free estimates, and hey, but and everyone's like us all since that hailstorm. Nobody got any hail damage in our neighborhood. We were lucky. And then I keep getting calls, and then the other day I got one. I made the mistake of answering it on my landline, and this guy would not stop. And I'm like, dude, he goes, my roof's only 7 years old. It's got a lifetime warranty. I still owe 7 payments on it. It's not, hey, 7 years is a long time. I'm like, no, it's not for a new roof. This thing's got a 20, and he kept going, a lot can happen, in a hailstorm. He goes, you're really, basically was saying I'm an idiot for not taking their free inspection. What their free inspection was going to tell me was that there was roof damage.
That
I need a new roof, and I don't need a new, it's fine. It's just been relentless this last week.
They came to us.
In your neighborhood?
Yeah.
Just in the last few days?
Right after.
Since the hailstorm?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're all over the place.
So they came to us and, hey, you got a hail damage on your, I said, no, we don't. Well, and he takes around the garage. Well, there's a hole there. I said, that's a squirrel. Squirrel goes in and out of the attic of the garage. And he goes, well, you can fix that. I said, well, you're going to kill the squirrel?
I just don't ever remember this happening before. Well, now, granted, we don't have any hailstorms. But
so you say those are those goofy-looking Teslas that look like...
They look like something you'd be driving around on the moon.
Yeah, I think those are the most
ridiculous.
They're
so ugly. They're so big and ugly.
Those are ridiculous.
They're ridiculous.
Yeah, they really are.
I mean, the Hummer...
That's just... It's like $100,000.
And like my neighbor said, do they really think driving around in a neighborhood like ours... middle-class neighborhood, like driving in Teslas is going to, oh, man, I want these guys to do my roof. Here's another $10,000. Let me pay my roof off. And roofs that were made you got your roof done with, roofs are a lot better now than they were 15, 20, 25 years ago. But I went right out afterwards. So my roof, it wasn't touched. It looks just fine.
No, ours is fine. The whole neighborhood's.
But I tell these guys, dude, I'm not even done paying this thing off. It's an 8-year payment.
And they're not local.
Oh, no. Well, that's my neighbor's, what his test is. what he does with them, he goes, hey, so you guys are local. Oh, yeah. Okay, so what do you, he knows, my neighbor's a contractor. He knows all these people. He just says he'll ask him 2 obvious roofers locally, and none of them know who they are. Yeah. They're just none of them are local. Yeah. They're just trying to swoop in from this. But, man, they've been hitting my neighborhood hard. And
I don't know. A neighbor told me that, that they ask him for, payment in advance. And,
of course. Yeah, credit card, mom's maiden name, banking information, access to all your social media. Yeah, I mean, it's just, but no, hopefully they're gone now because I think because we've got some neighbors of mine say, hey, when I hear the door knock and I see them, I don't even answer the door. We got people hiding from them.
I'm hiding from Iman.
Are they trying to get your business?
Yeah.
They have mine, but I don't remember the.
Listen, it's fine. I mean, it's a great.
So they're knocking on your door nonstop?
Yes.
Oh, see, that's different. I get something every day from Mediacom.
I get it in the Well, if you went to Mediacom, you get it every day.
Yes.
From Iman.
I'm down to 20. Mediacom's back to offering me 5 years at $29.99. But I will consider if they ever offer to pay me to
One
come back.
of the kids, and it was a kid, says, well, I said, I've already got a gig and it's fine. And he goes, our gig is faster. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
but a gig is a gig.
I've been fine with Iman.
Yeah, and I'm fine with Mediacom. I don't care.
No, I was not. I mean, Mediacom's internet, I didn't have major problems with, but again, the Mediacom TV was a miserable experience, and too expensive.
Didn't have any problem with Mediacom TV particularly, or Dish, or
They're just too expensive.
TV. They're too expensive, but I do really like YouTube TV.
Yeah. I do too. I mean, I still every once in a while, if it's on for a long time, you'll have to it'll go back to the original. Mine goes back to the menu. You just have to hit play again. Mine, it's like it reboots. Now, that's like every 8 or 9 hours. It'll do that occasionally, where it goes back to the menu where you click on all the icons and you have to.
There's probably a setting.
There is something. My buddy told.
There's a setting there that figures you just left the TV on. And
yeah, my buddy said it's an easy thing to fix, but you just have to hit the icon.
I've never
again.
had that happen.
Because you probably got the setting adjusted.
Yeah,
but mine, it happens like if it's left on for like 8-9 hours.
Yeah, because it's figuring you're not watching it and you're wasting.
And my buddy explained to me but it was like 4 or 5 different. Next time he's over, I may have him do it. Yeah. But no, I've been happy with it. It hardly ever buffers. Every once in a while, usually you just turn it off and it's back again. And it's been one of the best things I've done financially. Because I'm guessing, like now Mediacom, Mediacom didn't want my TV business. They wanted me to go away TV-wise. They don't want to be doing TV.
Well, that's what they told me.
They just priced themselves out.
They told me, why don't you go to YouTube?
They told me Hulu
right off the bat. Right off the bat.
Yeah, they told me Hulu, but I'm glad I did YouTube instead of Hulu.
Mm-hmm. I had Hulu when ABC was blocked off because Jan wanted to see ABC, ABC shows. And it's not as good as... It really isn't as good and doesn't have the channel choice that YouTube TV has.
No, that's what I've been told, and I've been told it's even harder to navigate, not as good.
Yeah, it's not as good.
I mean, I'm to the point where I've pretty much got it down. There are times where you do have to scroll a little bit, but if that's the worst thing, that's not that. The price is still very good. I'm guessing in a couple of years it'll be over $100. It's roughly around $75-80 right now. Mm-hmm. But it's going to go up a little bit because everything does. But no, I've been happy with it. And I've been happy with Iman. My only problem with Iman, every once in a while, if I go somewhere else with my computer like Carver, I always have to get back on to Iman at home. But it's simple, just hit connect. It's not that hard. But with Mediacom, I used to stay on it even though I would go to Carver and get on their internet. Now I have to reconnect with Iman. That's about the only problem I have with it. It's not really a problem.
Good morning. A couple things. First of all, Steve, thanks. I'm glad you're back. Second of all, I want to thank you guys for continuing to do this show. I mean, you guys don't realize how many listeners are out there that never call, but boy, they sure enjoy the show. And it's like a lot of things you do. It's a great service for Hawkeye Nation. So forth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. And I wanted to ask too. I noticed the last 7 or 8 minutes of that game last night, when the other team did score, they were getting layups and jams. So they're doing some sort of and I couldn't isolate it, and CBS didn't do the teleprompter thing, but they were doing some sort of double screening down there, those big guys, and enabling the offense to get a layup or a jam as opposed to having to take a shot, a long shot. Did you guys kind of pick up on that and figure out what was going on?
No, you're talking about Florida against Iowa's defense. Well, I think they finally got their I think they finally got their high-low game going a little bit. They finally figured out a little bit of Iowa's defense, but they just couldn't sustain it. Yeah, Florida's offense. That's why when it was 51-39, they cut it down because they got their post game going a little bit. But it just seemed like there was no inside-outside game because I just was not that now, that Xavier Lee, I thought he made some big shots, especially in the first half. But I just thought their guards, when they needed something more, just weren't there. But no, I think they just finally got their high-low game going a little bit with their size.
Well, the announcers kept referring to it. They were constantly, Florida was getting that low steal. They constantly kept talking about this, and they, like I said, Florida have an uncontested driving layup or slam dunk. If we would contain them for a little bit, and then they would just all of a sudden that steal would happen, and it looked like a little bit of a vulnerability on our half-court defense.
Oh, there's definitely no. Iowa's lack of size is definitely makes them vulnerable. I just think Florida didn't waste, but took way too long to figure out how to exploit it. I mean, those guys made adjustments throughout that game, how they were screening toward the baseline, double seals. They made a bunch of different adjustments. Defensively, too, Florida finally, I think, figured it out a little bit at the end, but it was too late.
They took too many out shots.
And they did, and I thought Florida settled too much, too. And remember, Florida's big center, that big guy in the middle, he was dealing with fouls. He never really got going. Nope. He got early fouls, and he just never found a rhythm.
Well, thanks a lot again for the service to sports fans locally, and go Hawks.
All right.
Go Hawks.
Thank you. Now, that's a good call, isn't it, Captain?
Yes.
That's the kind of call that explains why we do it.
If only there were some contrasting calls that we get sometimes.
You mean something different than that call we just had?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Our calls are so predictable and just always so the same. We don't have any characters. Anyone out there? What do you think?
Okay.
What do you want from me?
What
the hell do you want?
What do you want from me?
I just want a response. All right, what do you got?
I don't know. I'm just looking at some of the matchups. I love the Nebraska-Iowa matchup. Is just so intriguing.
With the Hoiberg storyline, everything. It is. Again, though, would you consider going to Indy?
I don't know. I haven't. I don't think we're going to get there, number one.
Did you think they were going to beat Florida?
No, but I thought we had a chance.
I did too. I remember saying I think I said, didn't I say somewhere about a 30% chance?
And I think we have a chance.
Yeah.
We have a decent chance to beat Nebraska.
Well, I think the chance against Nebraska is 55%.
I would say, but we match up so poorly against Illinois.
What if Illinois loses to Houston?
Well, I don't think we match up well against Houston either.
No, Houston's really athletic, and their coach, they play. They're a more athletic Iowa, and they got this guard. His name's Kingston Flemings. He'll be a lottery pick. He's about a 6'4", one of those guards that can score in all different ways. That will be an interesting matchup. He was a 5-star recruit. He went to Houston because he wanted to be coached really hard by Kelvin Sampson. Is a hell of a coach.
I mean, would I look at it if Iowa happens to get to the Final Four? Yeah,
I pretty much made the decision. Well, I pretty much made the decision yesterday. Financially, I'll figure it out later. But if they get to the Final Four, I'm assuming I can get I want to go.
I mean, because your hotel rooms are just going to be astronomical.
I don't do it that way. We stay away. You want to get down there, and I get it. You want to be right St. Elmo's, up to your knees, whatever expense for the hotel. I'm out there in a red roof out in the middle of Indy, eating at that $10.99 thing at Chili's, and I'm just fine as a...
Chili's has got some good burgers.
It does, but you're at St. Elmo's and you're tipping glasses.
Well, once.
Well, hello.
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 Hi.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
I got a question as far as how does us getting to the Sweet 16 help us in the recruitment of players?
Well, it's just
a great question.
Very good question. It's just proof. Hey, look what we can do. We did this in year one. We did this by almost from scratch by rebuilding a roster other than one holdover player from the previous year. We did this with this team. You come here, you can be a part of this. And, yeah, it's just the more you win, the more relevant you become in the eyes of recruits that have multiple options.
Yep.
And Iowa became relevant last night.
Sure. And then as far as more money coming in for NIL.
Oh, yeah.
How do you think that's going to?
I'm sure there's people thinking more about donating to Iowa basketball and NIL today than they were yesterday.
For sure. And, yes, it should make a big difference in that. But, still, there's a lot of teams out there have a lot more money than Iowa's going to have.
Yeah, but you don't have to have the most money
That's true.
to have success. You got to figure out a way to spend your money wisely. And I think Iowa's got the right guy to do that.
Fantastic. Thank you.
You bet. Now, I will say, in fairness to Fran never had NIL in his corner.
No.
While he was here. Iowa never really had a way to make it work with Fran. He never had much to work with.
I don't think he really liked
the
fact that that's what he had to do now.
No, and I think he just thought he deserved more help, and I think you could make a case for that. But now things are a lot different now with the legislation. There's just more money available now. But in fairness, like this caller said, Ben getting over this hump is going to help so much in NIL and recruiting. It just is.
Yeah.
It just is. If you notice, like even Lute Olson, by the time he got towards the end after they made the Final Four and what have you, they started. Ronnie Lester was not a huge recruit. Michael Payne and Greg Stokes were big recruits, even though Ronnie ended up being better. But Lute was able to recruit a different caliber of athlete after he had success. It just changes everything. Now with Raveling, he took over a program that was successful, and Raveling was going to get star recruits no matter where he was. That's just because of who he was and what have you. But no, this helps in so many ways. NIL, everything. We'll get after the season. Maybe we'll have Brad on and he can kind of talk about the kind of boost that this will provide.
Hello.
Hey guys, two things. One would think this and that lady talking about recruiting.
Yeah.
This should help with NIL. You would think.
Oh, without question.
And then one other thing, Indiana, national champion in football. Iowa, Nebraska in the Sweet 16. Who would have thought?
Yeah, no, it's
amen, brother.
Strange times. Yeah, now I'm not one of these people that think Indiana football's here for it to stay. I mean, after Signetti's gone,
who would have imagined they'd get there?
I mean, but after he's gone, they could hire the wrong coach and be right back to being 3-9. It could happen really fast.
Easily.
It could easily happen.
What if Signetti goes 2-10 next year?
God, can you imagine him with 10 losses? How those press conferences would be? Good Lord, he's mean when they win. They're not going 2-10 next year.
No, they're not.
I think there's a good chance. If I had to predict Indiana right now without look, I'll say 10-2, which I can't believe I'm just saying that blindly about Indiana football.
And in the playoffs.
Probably
sure.
10-2. If you're in the Big Ten and you're 10-2, you're
and defending champion.
And you're going to get in.
Props.
You're going to get in. Had Iowa been 10-2 this year, they would have probably gotten in.
Yeah, probably.
They probably would have gotten in. That's kind of the cutoff now. It seems like so, but yeah, no. Again, though. So you're saying that Kansas, in the press conference, I didn't see it, but Self was addressing his future and did not commit to his future.
He didn't. He made a comment saying that I have to feel good,
and they're not as good as they've. I mean, he's been at such a high level for so long. They're not at that same level. They've been trending down, not as much as Kentucky has.
Now, did he have some kind of operation?
He may have. I don't know.
I
don't know.
He did.
But Mark Pope at Kentucky, I just don't. I know he played there. He seems like a good guy, but I mean,
he wasn't competitive yesterday.
No, and Iowa State was without arguably their best player. Kentucky fans aren't happy. It's just going to be interesting if those three jobs open, and I'm not saying it just because of. It's just going to be interesting to see who ends up getting those three of arguably the best jobs in college if they all open up. Because if I was a Michigan fan, I'd be worried.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Dusty May is probably the first call a lot of places make now.
Well, you would think so, wouldn't you?
Yes, before McCollum, but I would imagine TJ and Ben would be in those top 5 calls. I mean, Kelvin Sampson's to the point now, age-wise, too old. Say Patino's almost 80, and yet he's an incredible coach.
He is.
And I'm trying to think who's another one that I don't think there's really anyone else out there that's just, so.
And I don't think any of your old guards are going to
do it.
I
think Pitino's in a perfect situation at St. John's.
I think he
no
thinks so too.
It's just it's their stage. They are the main act. He's in New York City. It's perfect for him. So, but so if those 3 jobs open up, those programs are going to be under pressure to get coaches that are hot right now that can say to the fan base, "Look who we got." And I think with Otzelberger at Iowa State, that would easily be the case, no matter where he should, if he were happen to go somewhere. So it's going to be interesting. Now, none of those jobs are officially open right now, but I'm reading a lot that says all 3 could be open very soon.
How old is Mick Cronin?
I think he's in his mid-50s.
Do you think he would get consideration?
Well, he's a hell of a coach. I mean, he's kind of a douchebag.
Oh, he is.
Arrogant and what have you, but he's a hell of a coach. I mean, he really is. I don't know. I kind of get the impression that he maybe wants out of UCLA.
I do, too.
I think he hates being on the West Coast in a conference that's mostly Midwest to the East Coast. I think he hates that. And it's tough to have assistants out in L.A. because it's so damn expensive.
No, I think if one of those 3 called on him, he would go.
I wonder how those 3 would handle Mick Cronin, though. I mean, he's a big name, but he's not as hot right now as T.J. Otzelberger.
No, probably not.
Or Ben. I mean, I think it's funny. Ben now has gone from being the guy who lost at Maryland, and now he's Wooden. Now he's Tom Izzo. I mean, Izzo's another one. He's Izzo's not going anywhere.
He's too old.
But if all of a sudden North Carolina hired Tom Izzo, their fans would be ecstatic. But why would he do that?
Yeah, I don't think
at this stage. No, the big name coaches are all too old now. I mean, they're all in their upper 60s, and Pitino's in his 70s.
Hello.
Hey, gentlemen. Good morning. It's John Ballmer. I just wanted to weigh in on the analyst. Clark Kellogg is absolutely one of the most impressive people I've ever heard. He at halftime of the Iowa State game said, "I think they'll end up winning by double digits," because the score was close. And boy, he was spot on. And then he and Barkley after our game said that Iowa definitely deserved to win that.
Yeah, they did.
Well, that was after the game. Before the game, Iowa had no chance, according to all of those guys.
Yeah, they all did change their tune. Barkley did say afterwards, Iowa was the tougher team. They deserved to win that game.
Yep.
But
and
hindsight.
Most pundits wouldn't have predicted this.
No, I mean, none of us did.
No.
But, I've got to give them credit. They didn't make excuses like some of those idiots do. But, and I thought Seth Davis's comments about Maryville, Missouri were pretty good, too. So,
and few people remember, Clark Kellogg was a hell of a player before he injured his knees.
Great player.
Oh,
incredible player.
Terrific.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite players. Class of 78, 79, the same class as Bobby Hansen from Cleveland, Ohio. He was a hell of a player before his knees gave out.
Yeah, no, he was terrific. I've just always respected his opinion.
Me too.
And, he's very, very good. But, we got a tough one today, guys. I think the women will win. But, after our performance, I saw you guys over there Saturday. That was not a scintillating performance by any stretch.
They'll be better today. I think they'll be better today. I think they'll have an easier time today.
I think they've got to develop more outside shooting, guys. Something's just missing.
Well, you don't think 1 out of 13 threes is good enough, really?
No, I will say, I think that was a fluke. I think that doesn't happen very often.
No,
but now I think we know who the shooters are. But if you're not making threes by now, you're probably not going to start making threes.
That's probably true.
Chit Chat can make her through. Taylor's she can be hot and cold. When she's on, she's on. But man, when she's off, sometimes she doesn't even hit the backboard on some of her threes.
No, and Kylie's shot has just gone.
She's just not a good 3-point shooter.
No, she is.
And Addie right now, I think, is lost right now with her.
I think her head. I think
she's thinking too much. I mean, she had 2 shots the other day. They hit the side of the back.
Yeah,
one was in the lane. She made a nice move to get into the lane. Then she hit the side of the backboard.
Yeah, she's kind of lost a lot of confidence.
Shooting wise.
Yeah,
I think so. See, she needs to be built back up confidence wise too. And because she had a couple of those games that she had double-digit points. I'm like, God, she's on fire. And then all of a sudden, go to the West Coast, and everything just went.
She's just really struggling with her 3-point shot.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Well, it'll be a good game today, gentlemen, and we'll send the ladies off, hopefully, to Sacramento. Yep, and Tom, get there and have your carver cone or whatever you're going to have.
I think probably we'll have a carver cone today.
Yeah, I stood in line and got in. Lucky they didn't melt before I got back to my seat. So
yeah, it was warm, sticky. It was sticky.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Good program again as always.
Thanks, John.
Talk to you later.
Yeah, it's too early for a beer.
Did you have a beer the other? See, I couldn't drink alcohol in that hot steam. I can't drink alcohol when it's hot and nasty, especially beer. Like, I don't, those people that tailgate, like, when it's 95 and I see them just, I don't know how you can do that. I'd be asleep. 2 beers, 90-degree heat, I'm on the cement sleeping. What do you think of that, Captain? Lightweight?
I've seen it happen.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have. Remember the old days? People don't seem to get arrested as much tailgating now as me. Remember old days? Weren't there like high school principals they'd find passed out up to against the fence? Yeah. Wasn't there one? I thought you guys did one where some educator was found.
Yeah.
I can't remember if he was something pretty high up, and I remember laughing. He was just even drunk at the Hawks game.
No, it happens.
But it doesn't seem to happen as much, or does it still happen as much?
I don't think so. I don't think they're
working as hard to arrest them.
Yeah, I mean they were on a mission before.
There was a while where it did seem like they were on kind of a mission.
Yeah, think, don't drink. Remember that?
Yeah, remember Think Big.
Yeah,
think before you drink.
Yeah,
you think before you drink. Yeah.
Yeah, gee, do I want a shot or a beer?
Remember get mad?
I think I'll have another.
That's thinking before you drink. But no, I remember that one. But you guys remember Think Big in 1995, don't you? The Think Big campaign for football?
Yeah.
And then they got beat out at Ohio State, and Hayden just threw Klatt under the bus. That's Ricky Klatt's idea, not mine. Because we had a bunch of smart athletes. Think Big has turned into Think Small. Because Hayden talked about how he was proud of the comeback in the second half. Remember that?
Yep.
Think big, think not. There was just a bunch of snarky leads by all the media, and Hayden did not like it. Those were the good old days. That was the game they were down 56-0 in the second quarter. Remember that?
Yes.
That team had Dwight and Banks, and I mean,
it's just incredible.
It was 56-0 in the second quarter, and then Iowa scored 35 unanswered points in the second half when Ohio State was just draining their bench.
Yeah.
And Hayden did not like the fact that we made fun of the Think Big campaign. And then they had those dumb uniforms with the stripes and those big, massive shoulder pads. It was just...
Oh, those stripes. They were terrible.
Mid-90s, Captain.
Their slogans. Well, get mad, and then when
Fran got mad, they got pissed.
Yeah. Don't get that mad.
Yeah, don't get that mad. Yeah, but... All right, well, God, the game starts in 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It's got to be weird being at Carver for a game at 1 o'clock on a Monday.
It is. But, I mean, I looked just for fun, went to SeatGeek to see, there were just so many tickets.
So are you thinking there could be 4,000 or 5,000 empty seats?
I don't think it'll be that many, but 1 to 2,000 I think there will be.
They're hanging drapes.
Hello.
Hey, tell Pat and Suter they better get here quick because the parking lots are filling up.
Well, I got to park down at the softball field or Lower Finkbine.
Well, that's where I'm at, and the press is already here.
All right.
Well, yeah, I mean, if there's no place to park, there's going to be no place to park, I can't get there. I still have to go home and do a few things. But you can't create parking spaces. Why would you already be there 2.5, 3 hours before the game?
I don't know.
I guess
it's
to eat.
Too early for me.
Yeah,
the Balbinot syndrome.
Well, no, a lot of people in the press now they're probably in there eating and getting whatever. But I know Mike's going. He's going to go for us too. But like I said, I'm going to get there when I can. But
yeah.
And your place is good no matter what, right? It's reserved.
It is reserved. Yep.
Yeah. If they tell me all the places are full, then I'm not sure what I'll do. Cross that bridge when it comes, Captain.
You can always park here and walk.
There you go.
Yeah.
But if they're full, they're full. I mean,
only $10.
That'd be a hell of a walk. How far do you think this is from here to
eternity?
To Carver? It's got to be at least 10,
I would
12.
say 10 miles.
At least, because it's...
More?
Yeah.
Less?
It's 8 miles from my house, so probably...
Yeah, because it's about 6, and it's about 6 from mine, and yeah, I can get...
So 8?
6 to 8, yeah.
That'd be quite a walk back. That'd be a 14-mile round trip carrying a computer bag. That wouldn't be fun.
No.
So, but again, 10:30, and they're already over there for a 1 o'clock game. Hey, more power to you.
No, I think that about wraps it up.
And remember to keep
about wraps her up.
While you're doing the bride, keep mentioning the parking situation for the listeners that Iowa's requested.
Well, we will do that. And
everybody, thanks for listening.
New rule. You have to be listening before you call.
New rule.
Yeah.
So Molly Suter is next.
And you can't start the call with, "Hey, Captain."
Is this a sports show? All right, Molly Suter is next. HawkFanatic.com. Check it out. It's free. Go Hawks.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.